Hey guys, welcome to another episode of CTD Amongst Black. Today we're going to be doing an in-house special interview, drum rolls please, with our own very Prince Hardey.
Yes, ma'am.
I said that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, what do you want to tell the people about you first before we get into this?
Yeah, my name is Prince Hardey. I'm a military man. Shout out to all my military respect. And to all my friends way back in Nigeria, right here in San Antonio in Texas. That's me, Prince Hardey.
So let's get into this grilling interview. I'm going to grill you. Grill.
Let's do it.
Okay, so how long have you been in America?
By July 19 this year, it's going to be exactly 4 years.
What made you want to come out here? Like, out of everywhere, why did you choose I want America?
Okay, so I've never been a fan of America. Mm-hmm. I've always been of the motive of just coming around to America just for visits. Mm-hmm. Okay, so my plan basically then while I was growing up was like, okay, I just want to have a wife and my kids right here, and you know, I can always come around for visiting and everything. Yeah, go back and forth because I have a very good job way back in Nigeria, and I feel like I'm doing good. So why do I want to change my environment? Because I know to relocate to a new country to be very challenging.
It is.
So I've never been a fan. I've always been a fan of let me just travel, go back. I've been traveling to some other countries, you know, and I just come back.
Okay, so when coming here, what were your expectations like? Like, oh, you're leaving Nigeria, you become Yankee. So what were your expectations? What were you thinking? Did everything meet your expectation, or it was very different?
It was not really an exciting thing like that. Uh-huh. Even though I really want to come to US, you know, and for several times they've denied my visa, and I don't really feel bad about it too much because it's not like I really desperately want to be here. Okay. So, but now my expectation is now based on what made me change my mind to be here. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I was dating my ex-wife then, and she was bent on, please, I don't want us to be very, very far from each other. You need to compromise. You need to leave your job, leave everything you're doing, then come to the US. So my expectation, I already know it's gonna be serious, like something very taxful, you know. So, but I was just being hopeful. As long as I'm not a lazy person, I know I'm still gonna make it right here. So my expectation was not really too high. You know, it's not really too high, but I believe it will be better than Nigeria.
Yeah, you seem like you're not that big of a fan of America because like even from listening, it's just like I'm gonna enter. I don't enter.
Exactly. That's my plan. Because even when they gave me the visa, they gave me the visa in February. I didn't even make up my mind to leave Nigeria until like July.
Damn. Some people be excited and pack up the
bag. I know, right? I got it like in February. That same week, I was like, do you really want to travel? Do you really want to live all your life? Because I work with an FCMG company, which is food and beverage company. I don't want to mention the name of the beer company. Okay. It's a very popular beer company. So it's like our mother company in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. I was a trade marketing manager. I was doing good. I have a driver. I have a new car.
You're living a life.
Yeah, exactly. So I have boys around me. I mean, I live my life. Even in Lagos, I don't stay more than like 1 week. Mm-hmm. Every other week, I'm always in every other state, like the north. The southwest, which is like all these Ilorin, Oyo State, Ogun State, and all those places, you know. So it's somehow I felt like, am I gonna live all this life and start afresh in a new country? Yeah. So it's not really exciting like that, but at least I was like, okay, you know what? That's what you do for love. Let's just go. Let's go.
Okay, so we're gonna go back because in there I heard you say an ex-wife. So that means you're not married anymore.
I am legally divorced.
Okay, now, why didn't it work out? Why did you go from you're married to you're not married?
That was a long, long story.
Oh, we have time.
I know, right?
Let me put my chair in.
So, I was dating the ex before I get to meet up my ex-wife again because my ex-wife and I were a childhood friend. Mm-hmm. We grew up in the same neighborhood, and For a long time, we've been friends. Then at the time when we went to what we call college here, which is university, so we lost communication for some time, and that was when she relocated to the US. So 2016, we got back. Yeah, we got reconnected, and we started talking. And of course, based on the notion we have in Nigeria is like, if you've been friends for a long time, then maybe things can work out, you know. So we started dating, and we started saying, oh yeah, maybe we could get married and something. And it looks good. It looks perfect because it's a long distance relationship. So we were like, okay, yeah, so let's do it. So we started dating, everything, you know. The first challenge is the time difference.
Okay.
When I'm sleeping,
She's up.
she's at work.
Okay.
She wants to talk, or maybe just getting off work or something. It's 6 hours difference. And Nigeria is faster than US time. So the first challenge is communication. Why the marriage did not work, I'm not going to put blame on her, and I'm not going to put all the blame on myself. I always like not to, because the first thing you can do to yourself as a man is not to lie to yourself. So if you don't lie to yourself, you will be doing yourself more good than harm.
True. That's true.
It takes two people to dance a tango.
Yeah.
So the fault came from the two of us. Number one is communication. I'm not a good person.
You don't like to speak your mind.
Not that I don't like to speak my mind, but when you're talking about someone you're dating, your partner, I'm not really good with communication generally. I would rather react than
communicate.
Exactly. Okay. That's something that I'm still struggling with even up till now. But at least I know I'm better right now. I can express myself anyhow. But before, one of the main problem was communication. And secondly is the relocation. Because when you're doing like a long distance relationship, I'm always a fan of it before. I love it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the best.
I've never been a fan of that. I want to be under you.
Right now, I want to be seeing you almost every time. I want to test your temperament level. I want us to test each other. Let's know how you can handle your temperament. Let me see how you can handle your anger. Let me see how you can handle skirmishes that happens between us, you know. So one of the things that I feel that affected, apart from communication, is the fact that we've never spent too much time together. Yeah. And one other thing I think that messed it up is getting papers in the United States.
A
lot of people are suffering right now because of that. A lot of people can't even express themselves very well just because of that.
That's true.
And there's still a lot of people out there going through this. Or because if you decide to bring someone in from another country, number one, you need to be prepared for so many things.
It's a lot of responsibility.
It's not, in fact, you can't even put a time frame on it. It depends on how fast and how easy for the person to transit from that mental state of the former country to the new one. Let me give you an example. The transition period. Anybody bringing anybody into any country, just for example from Nigeria to US, you need to be ready for that transition period. And when I say transition period, it's like you're walking on eggshells. If you bring me to this country, there's a way you will want to
handle you.
Re-quote everything. Maybe you need to correct me about something. There's a way you're gonna, because number one, someone you brought in, you don't want it to look like you're controlling the person.
That's true.
Nevertheless, the person they brought in needs to know that you met this person on ground. So that person definitely knows more than you do.
Sure.
But the problem with most of the people that bring you down to this country is they don't want you to be too exposed because they don't know what people will teach you outside.
Yeah.
So that it won't affect their own relationship with you. You understand? So there's so many things. Another thing is I would advise any guy that if you're dating anybody or any lady, if you're dating anyone, if that person doesn't have someone that can scold your partner or correct them, it's a no-no for me.
Okay, so
And I will explain that later.
okay, so is it easier to get married or is it easier to stay married? What would you say?
Very easy to get married. It's the easiest thing to do. But to stay married, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of, and the grace of God.
Okay, did you and your wife try to work things out before you guys got to the
We
point
even
of
went to
divorce?
counseling and everything.
So it was just not it no more.
It's not just it. It was, the relationship become abusive. I remember the first day she slapped me outside. I've never been slapped like that in my whole life. Even my mom that gave birth to me.
I'm not gonna. I've slapped a nigga outside before.
What?
I've slapped a guy outside before.
Why?
Honestly, I cannot even remember why.
I feel like the only reason that could make you start laying your hands on someone is when that person is becoming harmful, or
I think honestly, if I was to think about it, I think we were at the club or something, and I think maybe to me I felt like he was being disrespectful, and I just dazed him one. I'm a changed person, y'all. So
if someone is being disrespectful, there are better ways to handle it.
Now I know that.
Yeah.
Now, wait.
There are better ways to handle it. I mean, laying your hands on someone is not really even good at all.
It's actually not healthy.
It's not good.
Healthy. It's not
because once you start it, you always do it.
That's true.
Yeah, you always do it.
Okay, if you had to give advice for people coming in, let's say there's a young man or even a lady that's out there in Nigeria and wants to come in, what would you tell them? Like, if you had to do things different from what you went through, what would the advice you would give them?
Number one, don't get me wrong, long distance relationship is really good.
It's not.
It is good for people that it works for.
It is not.
It's not working for me, and does not work for me. So secondly, you need to know who you are dating. Obviously, if you're doing long distance relationship, because each time, take it for example, if you're the one I'm dating, you're in US, I'm in Nigeria. Each time we see each other, you're only going to be seeing the best of me.
Facts.
Each time I see you, I'm only going to be seeing the best of you.
Unless I'm with you for a long period of time when I do come.
Because I know you can't stay long. You can't stay more than 1 month. You have job to do. You have everything to do.
That's true.
So I take me and my ex, for example. The max time she has ever spent so far has been 2 weeks. When we went to Dubai, it was 10, 11 days. And the first thing, you'll be seeing the red flags. That's the sweet thing about long distance relationship. But the fact that, because I remember when I've been noticing that she has red flag. I mean, she had this anger issue. She tripped a lot, and she has this controlling attitude. But because I was really in love, I was like, okay.
It's your fair.
Seriously, I was really in love, and this is someone that I've already knew from childhood. Went to the same high school, stay in the same neighborhood. So you'll be seeing those red flags, but I don't see it as red flags. I just see it as, this is how my partner wants it, and I want to
please
her. Yeah. First thing she did was that. So there's this my mom's pastor that the pastor is my mom's pastor in church, and happens to know Ab and her ex. He knew the whole scenario that happened in the ex life and everything, because that guy also came from London, and he relocated from London to US, and due to what they went through together, the guy had to pack his clothes and everything and left the house when she traveled. So this is what happened. The guy relocated, and he got to a stage that the guy, when he dropped all of her family and herself at the airport, he came back, picked all his things and left the house. That's how the relationship ended. So the pastor knew a lot of other things, but she was like, no, I don't want you to communicate with that pastor. I don't want you to have any conversation with him.
She basically didn't want you to know how she was prior.
Exactly. So I did exactly the same. The pastor was trying to communicate with me. At the time, I had to block him. Yeah, so I remember the day when we went to Dubai, we were in the club, and we went out for dinner There's a place called Atlantis. So we went for a dinner there, like so under the water. You could see all the sharks and the whale and everything. After the dinner, the guy that took us on the yacht brought us back, and he's a Jamaican, and he was like, "Oh, there's an African club on the ground, blah blah blah." So we went down, straight down there. After the party, I think she got intoxicated with the alcohol or something, and she was started saying things. I mean, things that partners only knows about, and he started saying it to the stranger. So we had a misunderstanding. She practically left me in the club and went straight to the hotel. I walked 1 hour 47 minutes back to the hotel.
Whoo-wee.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been seeing those red flags.
That's a long walk.
Yeah. 1 hour. I would never forget it like that. 1 hour 47 minutes. That was it. It's so I saw it and I discussed with my brother and was like, oh no, if a woman can do that to you, it's a no. I was like, no, let's just. So I decided to cut off my brother too for 2 years. I didn't talk to him until I got to US.
You cut off your brother.
Straight up.
Why?
You don't know what love is when love is shocking you.
Jesus Christ.
So I mean, I've been seeing those. I remember the first day I landed in US and she was like, I just want to know if you can behave or if your head is there in 90 days so I can send you back to Nigeria.
She literally said that?
That was the first.
No way.
I'm not joking with you. I'm not messing with you. She said, I remember that day and I was like, right in the car, I was like, I think I've made a big mistake. It got to a stage when we were in the house, I panicked so much that when I hear the garage of a house pulling up, I start shaking. I start fidgeting.
Fuck.
I have to put off the whole TV and I'll just chill like this.
Fuck.
So, I mean, okay, let me, I'm still going to answer that question. They said, what advice do I have for them? Wow. So, on my own side is this. I'm a great cook. I love to cook a lot.
You mentioned that, yeah.
A lot. My ex doesn't like to cook. She knows how to cook.
But she didn't like to stay in the kitchen.
She doesn't like to do house chores because she's a big girl. She has money.
How'd that have to do with house chores?
But I mean, she doesn't like it. And these are things I actually know before I decide to go on that journey with her. So it's not a problem for me. If I marry someone that doesn't know how to cook, what's bad in me and you being in the kitchen together and I cook, or maybe I cook for you before you come back from work? Because my father taught me something. I actually came from a nuclear family, and my father would be like, there's no job in the house that is a woman's job.
That's true.
There's no job in the house that is a man's job. If you wake up early to knock it out, knock it out. Okay. In fact, that makes you have enough time to spend with your woman. You can imagine if you have a wife and she go out for work like 13 hours or 12 hours. Before she's back, you've taken care of the kids. You prepared dinner already.
Just helping your partner.
She got back. You guys are just talking while she's taking a shower. Maybe you help her massage your body, serve her food. Because that's practically what I did. I always do, rather. I remember one day when she got back from work, I was like, hey, go take a shower and everything. And I prepared this amalak biryani we do with goat meat. So I remember she took a shower. So she was sitting down. I served her the food. And I love playing with toes and feet, just to help you massage it, just to make you feel good, because I know you might be standing all day and everything. Of course, you were having cramps and everything. So we were just talking and I was playing with it, and we were watching Netflix, and I was like, hey, what's up? How was work today? Your text and everything. And she was like, Adi. I said, yeah, what's up? What do you want? I was like, what do you mean by what do I want? She was like, what do you want? Why are you doing all this? I was like,
okay, with that, let me tell you something. I'm a female, and I think it comes with the fact that if you've not had a good man in your life, when you finally get a good man, certain things he does, it is definitely what you want. Because I'm not going to lie, I catch myself when a man or my partner is being nice to me. I'm like, nigga, what you want?
But if that is a one-off thing,
every time.
So
every time is, and the thing is, that's because like my past relationship coming into that, I didn't experience like a man just genuinely caring for me, wanting to make things easier. So I've always just like, it's only, you know, when you want something, you're trying to make it easier. So it's just like, it's a woman thing where like you yourself, you're in awe. Like that, okay. There's someone there, there's somebody out there that can actually just, sometimes it's just like when something's too good to be true, you still have to like make sure it's actually good and it's true. So like, I feel like even sometimes I'll catch myself like, okay, you doing this, you doing this, you doing this. Kilo fair, what do you want from me? Like, just see. Forget it. Spill it out. What do you want?
But you know, most times, I can maybe it depends on the perspective we see things.
Yeah, it is.
Because I don't see any reason why I can't be spoiled by my partner.
Yeah, you should definitely
without you waiting to receive anything back in return.
Yeah, it just has to do with past experience.
If I'm a lady, I'll take it in. It is what it is. I'll take it in the way you want to pamper me, pamper me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's I don't see it that way. So I was like, I remember I looked up and I was like, why do I need to be waiting for a favor?
And you also have to notice that you guys were doing a long distance relationship.
Yeah.
And so basically she hasn't fully gotten the whole full Ade experience. It's only like when she sees you, she gets bits, but now like you guys are together. So like for her it's something where she needs to finally come to terms with the fact that I have a good man. This is how he shows me that he loves me. Exactly. And it's something that I need to be okay with because I need to live in the moment and stop thinking about, there's always a reason behind everything. You're right.
So I remember that day I was like, okay, it is what it is. I don't need anything, but that's just me. And we passed that. Then it got to a stage, then I started discovering some things about our health issues. I don't have a problem if you tell me anything you have. Nobody's perfect. I'm a human being, you're a human being. I mean, God made all of us. There will always be negative things and positive things. I started noticing some things which she still kept on hiding away from me. And she was like, there's some things I don't know about you. I'm just discovering now. Same here.
Okay, but the thing is, maybe I'm looking at it differently. I feel like for me, it would be easier for me to date a friend, marry a friend, than for me to date and marry someone I'm just meeting.
I prefer a stranger.
I think because you've gone through the experience.
Because the stranger, you don't know what you are expecting.
Okay, yeah, that's the thing. I think it's because you've gone through the experience. Because with me, I feel like if I was to pick any one of my guy friends, I feel like it would be more comfortable because it's like when someone is my guy friend, I already tell them almost everything.
I don't want. I want a total stranger. You know why? Why? So it got to a point, she was like, I have so much expectation from you. I remember the day we went for counseling with a pastor and everything. She was like, and I sat my pastor down. I was like, I understand the fact that you expect a lot from me. Number one, don't forget that I just moved to this country. The kind of visa I came in with, I can't even work for the next 8 months. This is it. I'm coming from a company where I wake up as early as 5:36, come back home like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. because I run promotions and everything, activations and everything. And I get to this country for the next 6, 7, 8 months. I can't even do it. All I do is wake up in the morning, cut the lawn, do laundry. I will even take our clothes to the laundry, like dry cleaner, to make sure it's standing very well. You know, I want my wife to go out and they'll be like, yeah, she's different from when she was single, you know. I'll do all that and I'll sit down, I'll be watching movie. I'll even be tired of watching movie. As much as I love watching movie, I got tired. I was so depressed. It got to a day I was like, maybe I should just go and jump from a bridge and just die. No. I'm not going to lie to you. So it's depression is real in this country.
It's very Things
real.
Are hard.
Yeah.
And they don't make it easier. Like they don't make it easier for you to get a job. It's like they really don't want you out here.
I know. I've been through it, and so when someone said they're depressed, I know what they're going through. It's freakingly real. So it got to a point she was like, I had so much expectation, and I told my pastor while she was sitting, I said, I have so much expectation too from you. I'm expecting from you. But when you say you have so much expectation, you're expecting from me. This is the scenario. Let's use Amazon for an example. You want to order some items. It's an expectation.
Yeah, you hope that it comes in the right packaging. It's not leaking. It's not broken.
Yeah. Thank you. But the only time you can be sure those expectations can be fulfilled is after you picking up those items, which are the things you believe these are the things I want for myself. The only way you can show more interest and be sure these things will be delivered is when you pay.
Yeah.
And you at least you have an idea of a certain period of time these things should be delivered to you.
Yeah,
so that's the scenario. I said, so what have you done on your own part as a wife? You have so much expectation in someone you just got married to. Okay, what are your own contribution? What are your own private things that you've done? Which stands for like your payment to Amazon to make it to actualize what you've dreamt about or thought about, you know.
Yeah, because in a relationship, it's two people. So if you're expecting AYZ from me, you should also understand the fact that I expect certain things from you. I expect you to be nice. I expect you to be kind. I expect you, especially for me coming from Nigeria, the biggest expectation I can expect from a person is just understanding.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you. Because that transition period is not something you can overlook. You can never overlook it. And they won't understand because you're used to the system already. I'm not used to that system at all.
That's true.
I've been driving since 1993. I got back here, they said I have to go and do parallel parking. Thank God, because
I'm not gonna lie, if not for the camera, they be on phones. I can't parallel park for shit.
No, I was opportune to have driven like a truck before. So they always cover the cabin. Now they cover it with a cabin. So I only used a side mirror to drive for like 5 years. So it was easy. In fact, I did it like once. And the girl that was writing the book, please, how long have you been driving? I said 1993. She said, don't worry, I was never born.
I wasn't born either.
So, you know, a lot of things, a lot of changes, a lot of things. I remember the first day I tried to go pick her up at work. When you get to that intersection where you see the red light blinking like this, in the traffic light. I don't know what it is.
You stop a bit.
Like it stops. Like, yeah. I was so confused that I had to wait for a car that had to come right beside me to do what it does. Then I had to do the same thing. I mean, so many things. So many times. I remember the first day I went to service my car and they said, hey, open the hood. I was like, hood?
Looking for what?
It's bonnet in Nigeria now.
Oh my God.
You know, all those language barrier too and everything, you know. So a whole lot of things. If you're dating someone, it's different. Marriage is a different ball game entirely.
Personally, for me, I'm scared to get married because I feel like, no offense to people around me that are married or whatever, I just feel like everyone is giving me a reason not to get married. But I'm the type of, I love love. I love to be in love. I love to be in a relationship.
When I'm in love, they will hear on the internet.
I love to have my own person. So one day I eventually would like to be married, but I'm also fine with, I can be engaged with someone for the rest of our lives and I'm happy.
Absolutely.
Like, it's just, I feel like marriage is not something to rush into. I feel like you can take your time, but then again, I know people that, you know, they meet somebody and today, by the end of the year, they married and it works for them. So I just feel like marriage is marriage is not dating someone. It's not a regular.
Yeah, I remember there was a time after we got married, she likes to travel a lot. And I give that to her. And I'm not ready to change that. I would rather support that. But each time she travels, she will tell me, hey, you need to come to my mom's house here in Houston. So I have to drive down 3 hours just to come and stay at her mom's place. You know that.
But wait, why couldn't you stay home?
That's the boss in the house, man.
Okay.
You don't get it. So
I don't, because I've never been in a position like that. But I just feel like that's not marriage.
You won't say that's not marriage, because the only reason why it's easier for you to say that is because you're outside.
No.
You're watching this. You're watching this scenario now.
I'm outside, but I'm also thinking about me personally when I'm dating someone. I'm also thinking about someone that's in a relationship and stuff. So when I'm with somebody, what is mine is yours. We've not even gotten to the point that we're married. What is mine is yours. So it's just like how I have a house and then I'm going to run errands and then my man is home. I'm not in no way, form, or even more. Could they like me? You can't come up from my mouth for me to say.
It's why you're saying that. Have you done any long distance relationship before?
I don't. I'm not.
Okay, that's it. Because now at this point, it's a different ball game. You are you are like the boss because it's even his existence in US depends on you.
Okay, but that even like I'm painting a clear picture. But the thing with me is, as much as I am very independent, as much as I like to control things, there's only one area in my life where I'm totally, you know what? I give the independent woman, the take charge is off the table, and that is when I'm in a relationship. When I'm in a relationship, I can even tell you, yes, sir. I serve you, I come, I give it to you. That's the thing. That's
because
me.
You were raised well.
So I'm thinking, like, long distance or not, I just feel like when you're with someone, you gotta let a man be a man, regardless of the situation, regardless of, even if you're the one feeding him, clothing him, whatever, he's depending on you. At the end of the day, you still, oh my God, as a woman, you can't marry yourself. Oh, they do right. You can't like, let's be like, you can't fuck yourself. You can't. You need a man. So I just feel like,
I know, but I feel most of the time what causes such things are the background, how some people were raised.
That's true. That
how some people. My ex-wife raised herself.
And also, it also depends on what you've gone through. Because I know some females have gone through hell in past relationships that now they're totally different.
Yeah.
They the sweet, innocent, lovey they used to do, they don't
Then the motive behind you getting married at times.
True.
At the time I started thinking like she's not just getting married because she wants to be a married woman. No, so not because she wants a husband.
Maybe she just wanted to be a married woman.
Exactly.
A kept woman.
Exactly. So that the motive behind you getting married is really important as well.
And that happens a lot, especially in this day and age where like certain people feel like they've clocked there's a certain time age and just feel like they need to get married.
Exactly.
Don't rush it. I'm running away from. I'm like.
In fact, the first thing that struck me was when I remember when I got to US and went to an African restaurant, and I saw all her male friends, because she was once like a tomboy or something. So she only has more of male friends, and I saw all these dudes, big boys. I was like, why can't one of you marry her? Why does she have to?
Know her.
Exactly.
Why
And while we're sitting down and eating, and they were like, you, I don't want to mention the name, but like, so you can marry.
That's a red flag.
But I'm married already. Where am I going? I have to live with it, man. I have to live with it. So so the advice I would tell anybody, both people coming or people that are bringing someone in, number one, put into consideration. It depends on the kind of visa anyways. Put in consideration you're coming to a new country, your transition period. Both parties have to understand that part.
Sure.
Most of the time, we always overlook it. A lot of people don't worry, I'll adjust. You can't adjust though. You will go. I remember the first 2 weeks I'm in this country, I started crying. I said, what brought me to this position?
Yeah, it's not rosy because like outside when people are always like, oh, you're a Yankee, it's not. Ain't shit out here.
Exactly. I remember I was shedding tears. I was like, wait, what makes me leave that place to come here? I'm telling, correct, y'all. So, I mean, one. Secondly, you need to be open to each other. I remember my ex-wife, she has a health issue, and she decided with her family. They practically told me they all had a meeting and decided not to tell me. And I discovered 11 months later. A serious health issue that, why would I be sleeping with someone chest to chest and you can't even express yourself about your health status? I remember the first 1 month we got here because she was trying to get pregnant and back to back. So we were back to back, you know.
You guys have a kid?
No, we don't. Never. She was trying to. We were trying to have a kid, and we're just every day back to back, and she was like, "No, that something must be wrong with you," and I was like, "Something's not wrong with me because I know myself. I know 1 hour, 2 hours. I'm still there now. Kilo shele. And I remember she was like, "No, we need to go for a checkup." Okay, let's do it. So we went to the fertility center in San Antonio and we had a test. And of course they still were like, "Oh yeah, you good, man. 93%." They were swimming, everything. Okay. So what about my wife? Oh, sorry, your wife said I can't disclose it to you. Okay.
So she already knew.
Exactly.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah. So, and then she got to me. I was like, oh, the doctor said you're gonna get your own result by Friday. Will you let me know what's up after then? Oh, this is what they told me about me. And I don't even know. So I was just talking to my cousin in Chicago, and I was like, Adebayo, we went for a test, blah blah blah. I don't even know how to get my result. And it was like, oh, don't you know the address? I said, go check their website and call them and tell them you are this. They will confirm maybe with your address, your last name, date of birth, and everything. And they will tell you. So they told me my result. And the doctor was like, don't keep your spam in your mouth. Even if you spit it on someone, you get, it was just joking with me and everything.
Swimming.
93%. I'm so proud of myself. So it was like, I was like, okay, what about my wife? And it was like, no, she practically said, don't tell anybody, not even my husband. So I was like, okay, don't worry, I'll talk to her when she comes, just for him not to have. Then she was like, oh no, they've not given me my result. I was like, they said this Friday. I said I don't have my result. I was like, okay, it's okay. 1 month, 2 months. I'm not kidding you. I do not have access to that report from her. I remember the day we got separated. That was the day I got to know the real result. And that's about 11 months later. Even the day she would tell me to leave the house, I remember I brought her for a surgery here in MC Anderson here. I was there because it was during COVID time, and I was there for like 24 hours at the reception. I just stood there. And immediately I put her in the car, and I was trying to take her to her mom's house, and she was like, can you park? When we got to the house, I was like, okay, yeah. Like, I don't want to see you in the house by tomorrow. I've never raised my hand against her, because I remember shortly before then, we had an argument, and our junior brother was there right on my face and was telling me, you keep short when my sister is talking. This is a 24-year-old boy. Me in Lagos, I will not be the one to beat him. I have 2 boys working with me every day that I will say, treat his fuck up. You know what I'm saying, right? So there's a whole lot of things. We went for counseling, it wasn't.
That's not healthy.
It's not. It wasn't. It's just. If it's not working, it's not working. And if the relationship start becoming abusive, I mean physically, emotionally, it's better to let go. Even though you might have invested a lot of money, time, and everything, time will heal. You just have to let go.
Okay. Would you do everything all over again, the same way?
All over again, like
exactly how it happened, everything without skipping a beat.
No, never. And I repeat it, I will never be in that position again till I die.
Amen.
Never.
Wow.
That's why if I meet you now, I meet you here, and because I said I'm African, I'm Nigerian, and you started looking at me somehow. I don't know what you're thinking. I'll tell you straight up. First of all, I don't need papers from you. Because it's a different ball game. The way you guys are going to treat each other will be different. If I walk up to you and I say, Makanaki, what's up? I like you, blah, blah, blah.
The first thing that comes to my mind is not if you need papers.
No, because you've been here for long. There's some people in San Antonio. I know some. I've been to 1 or 2 places, and they'll be like, I remember a friend of mine that came from Dubai, and we were just hanging out, and we met someone. I was like, what's up? What are you doing? And she's like, are you African? I said, yeah. You need papers or something?
Okay, I feel like I think that's distasteful. I think that's very distasteful.
I got so angry.
Even someone with the strongest of African accent, you can come and talk to me. I'm not thinking you need papers. That's the first.
That's you. Some people, that's the first intuition they have. Immediately they see you.
That's distasteful.
Yeah, so that's the first thing they have. So before you push it to me, I'll push it to you first of all. I'm not looking for papers though. So you won't start thinking, oh, it's because it needs papers and everything. You understand what I'm saying, right? Yeah, so it right now, maybe that's one of the reasons I'm still chilling. I
was about to go into. I was gonna ask you if you're dating.
Nah.
No dating.
Nah.
You just dry.
Just chilling. Because there's a time to heal. After my divorce, during that process of separation and divorce, I was not even present for the divorce anyways. I was in the military training. And you need to heal yourself.
So you feel like you're still healing?
Right now, I'm not gonna lie to you. Even if the wound is healed, I still got scars.
I mean, that's totally normal. Everyone has scars.
I still got. Right now, I'm now regretting that I'm not even. I've never even had a child. You know what I'm saying? So right now, because the perspective I see this, and I, the only thing that helped me was talking to my brother in Liverpool every time. At times I would just be shouting and he'd be like, "Hey bro, you're shouting on me. I'm not the one that caused your trouble," or something. But the point is, I can't give you what I don't have. If I'm going to another relationship and I want to make you happy, I have to be happy myself.
That's true.
I don't want it to be based on because I'm dating you, then I'm expecting you to make me happy or heal my wound. No, you need to heal yourself before I can give you what is required. Not even just because of what you want, but what is required. If I'm gonna have a happy relationship, I have to be happy with myself.
That's true.
Before I can translate it into the relationship.
Would you get married again?
Of course. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you so much for this interview. I actually enjoyed it. I feel like we should go on and on, but
I know we don't have that time.
So thank you so much, and thank you guys for tuning into another episode.
Thank you so much.
See you next time.